Right, so hello and welcome to Hippo HQ. I'm your host Paul and this is another Photoshop tutorial. So I've been doing DVDs for quite some time. Often they will be events like weddings, funerals, dance recitals, that sort of stuff. And since about Photoshop 5.5, CS 5.5, I've pretty much used the same style background. It's always different, but it uses the same style. I've also used the background on my banner, you may have noticed, and I use it as it's just a really nice background image or a background texture for a soft muted background for pretty much most things. So I will show you how I made that. Now this is a PAL DVD menu. I will mute all of those so we get just to the background. We can see the original photo was simply some glasses. Then we used two effects overlaid to get a nice etched look. So how did I do that? Let's have a good look. We will open up some work. I believe I put them on desktop, tutorials. Let's have a look at a bumblebee. Okay. First thing to do will be make it so you can edit that layer. You want to duplicate it twice. And now let's work on this layer. First off, we want to put a filter over it. We just go to your filter gallery. Now I already have it set up. Whoop, I pushed the wrong button. That was stupid. Okay. So we zoom out, we can see kind of what the effect will look like. We kind of want a bit of a longer fiber length. I mean, at the moment it just looks like a bit of a blur on the picture. But you can see already around the edges and around the wing, you've got more of a hatched look to it. I want to give it a bit more brightness just to pop it, that fraction a little more. Maybe up to 80. You can see it changes there. It sort of changes little bits and pieces. It is working, it's just working slow. There we go. We no longer have all the black harshness inside the bumblebee's black stripes. Or is it yellow stripes? It doesn't really matter. I'm pretty happy with that, so I'm going to say okay. Now we go and we use one of these effects. We'll just make it pop so nice. I actually think it is not that. Let's see. Wow, you can see some amazing effects there, but you essentially just choose the one that you like the look of. So that is nice, so it goes from that to that. Now it does change it from normal to screen. See there, if it's a bit too much for you, you can actually take it down a little. You just want subtle little changes for these, so I mean 75 is not a huge subtle change, but we'll put it on 75. So we've gone from an okay, well, quite a nice picture to that. It's rather stylized, very bright and punchy. It's not quite finished yet, so we'll load up this one. Now what we want to do is we can go back to our filter gallery and choose graphic pen. The problem is you may have noticed, let's just load it up. If I go graphic pen, you may notice some unusual colors in it, and I'll explain why once it has loaded. There you can see purple and white. We kind of don't want purple and white. That is because it will take our foreground and background color from there. So keep it black and white. I mean, you can change it to different colors if you want. If you think this would look nice with a red and a yellow, like that, you can try it. Let's see what that looks like. Give it a sec. We want it to fit on the screen. So you can see that's sort of, it's the rightish colours. And if we go lighten and take that down, we do get a decent effect on it, but it's not quite what I like. Like, it's really nice around the petals. So we could use that as a subtle effect elsewhere, but it's not quite what we want. So we will go back to there and we will make you black and white. Choose fit on screen, choose graphic pen. Now I have the stroke length fairly long. The direction does kind of make a difference. I mean, you can see that's that way, that's now flat, so I've gone from diagonal to horizontal. You can go vertical, which will be up and down. Doesn't really look natural. Most people are either left or right-handed, so they will go from one direction to the other. So we'll go left diagonal, and you can see it's sort of sketching this way now. So it goes top left down. I like the long stroke length, but you can make it darker or brighter depending on what you want. I actually think a bit lighter, because the bumblebee itself is pretty dark, but we want it just dark enough that the bumblebee's still not black, but we've got the definition in the petals. So we have that, nice. Now we should use lighten. Though some others may work a bit better. Color dodge. I think lighten is about it. And then bring this back down, and there we go. So we've gone from that picture, quite a nice picture of a bumblebee. We've given it some sketches, which that on its own is actually quite nice. But we've just punched it out a little with that. Now that we actually have the second layer with our effects over it, our water effects, we can actually look at bringing this back down, because the two effects together should actually work in combination. So taking that off, you can see pretty good. That just adds the extra punch in around the red. So that is the basic style I have used. We will open up another image and show you. We have this one here is a meal at a wedding I filmed a while ago. So we will do the same. Duplicate it twice. Now the first one, we'll start from the top this time. We'll keep it black and white. We'll make it graphic pen. Make sure it is fit on screen so you can see what you're doing, and wait a bit. There we go. So it's not bad. I think I will lighten it up a little. I think we could even look at going double layered so we get the nice texturing in the bacon, I think that was. But I think I'll keep it there for the time being. And we want to lighten you. Then bring your opacity down. There we go. So we have a nice sketched little meal, but we want to pretty much make it punch out, which is why we go back to filter gallery on the second layer and make it waterpaper. Okay, so we can see a nice texturing around the, I have no idea what food that was. You can see the texture, it'll pop it out quite nicely. I think I'm pretty happy with that. We could possibly take the brightness down. No, that's too dark there. We don't want it dark, we want it light. Maybe a bit less contrast then. How would that work? No, I actually like bright contrast. It'll just pop it. Give it that nice popped feeling. And we will go OK, applying waterpaper. Okay, so that looks rather bland. That, however, is a bit too bright, so we bring it down. Now this one will be slightly different because it was a darker image. We will be wanting possibly 70%. And there you have it, quite a nice stunning image for a background. It's not too overpowering that it will take away from whatever you want in the front. Say you want some nice text of blah blah blah, blah blah blah. There we go, it doesn't take away from the text, while actually keeping the background not too noisy, not too dirty, just the way it has here, which this one, as you can tell, is quite a dark image. Oh, look at that, I actually had them the wrong way around. See if I get you lighten and I get you to screen. Ah, yeah, correct. Does pop out a little bit nicer. It's really just a feeling of what you prefer. There's no set fast rules for this. But you have a boring picture of some glasses on a table to quite a nice background, and as you can see, everything just fits there. It's nice and bright. It also works out DVDs, especially static images on DVDs, tend to shimmer a bit. With this one here, even though these are sort of 1 pixel lines, they don't actually seem to shimmer because of the way they are. So another slight effect you can do on this, if I was to create a new image, okay, we will go for film and video. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Now this one will be how I actually done my banners. We simply go for our fill. We want a gradient fill, black and white, I mean that's fine. And you can see we have a nice black and white. Helps if I actually do it on the opposing layer. So we can do the same for this. We will take that off. Say we want a slightly different color, we wanted a nice mute color. You can do that. We'll go layer 1 will be our filter gallery. Now there is the issue of all the fibers at the edge. I don't really think that matters too much in all honesty, but you can see how it goes nice and textured around. We'll say OK. And then this one here will be, actually if you want you can cross hatch it. So the first one will go filter gallery of graphic pen, and that is your left to right. And then this one we will go filter gallery of right to left. So that's that way. Then we get all of these to go as screen. You can see you've already got the hatching across there, possibly a bit too bright. What if we were to use color dodge for that? Okay, well that's given a sort of digital effect. Yeah, that can work for me. And this one we want to just use you as lighten, however we have totally blown it out. So we'll do the exact opposite. If one way doesn't work, try another way. Okay, so you have a slight hatching effect around there. I could actually say ditch the watercolored effect. And there we go, a nice little edge for the borders, so you can add in whichever logo you want. Say I want my triangle logo, I can add in my Escher triangle. There we go. Quite a nice, stunning effect, I must say. So, very quick tutorial today, but that is how you create a nice soft busy but not too busy background for pretty much whatever you want. I use it for the banners, I use it for DVDs. Doesn't really matter, it is up to you, it is your art project. Just crash out of you, and you can see it takes it from a nice-ish pile of meat and spinachy type thing and bacon. Oh joy, I've now got a bird flying around. Yes, anyway, back to this. It takes it from a nice picture of some decent food to quite a nice popping artistic background. Same with the bee. A nice picture of a bee on a flower to a nice sketching of a bee. You've got just the nice little etches around the bright red parts. You've got the bee itself just looks textured, especially around the wing here. Got the highlights all textured. It's a nice effect. So that is how you do it. Thank you for watching. This has been a Hippo HQ tutorial. I am your host Paul, and this is how to make a nice background in Photoshop. Don't forget to visit us on Facebook or twitter.com, and if you want to support the page, that is patreon.com/hippohq. We will also occasionally be broadcasting on Beam and Twitch. So thank you and farewell.